Hey y'all, fall is right around the corner and you know what that means? Apples. Apple content all day, every social media platform. We're doing apples. I'm doing apples today. Apple butter cobbler with drop biscuits. We've got biscuits on the top, we've got apple butter and apples in the bottom. It is ooey, gooey, crispy, yummy, delicious, all the things. This is how you make it. To get started with this apple butter cobbler, you first need to do one thing. Go to the September issue of Southern Living and pull out our apple butter feature. Y'all, you make this one batch apple butter recipe in your slow cooker. It makes a lot, so you can use it in a lot of different applications. And in the story, in the magazine, we give you so many different recipes to use the apple butter. I picked my favorite to share with y'all today. But to get started with almost all apple recipes, you have to peel and slice your apples. I'm going to peel all of them and slice them into 1/2-inch wedges and mix them in a bowl with some flour and brown sugar. Into this very large bowl of 8 sliced and peeled apples, I'm putting in 1 1/4 cup of packed light brown sugar, and then 5 tablespoons, which is 1/4 cup plus 1 tablespoon of all-purpose flour. Give it a good toss just to make sure your apples are coated. Doesn't have to be perfect, just set it off to the side. And we're gonna head over to the stove to melt 4 tablespoons of unsalted butter. All right, into a 12-inch cast iron skillet, which is not super common in a lot of households, I'm going to put in my 4 tablespoons of unsalted butter. If you don't have a 12-inch cast iron skillet, that doesn't mean you can't make this recipe. You just need to reduce the amount of apples that you're using. We call for a 12-inch because we're using so many apples and it feeds more people. When your butter is all the way melting and it's spitting, spattering, probably because I have my heat turned up too high, put it on about medium low. We're gonna add in our apples. Be careful. Make sure you get all of this good in there too. I added my apples with my brown sugar and flour after my butter was melted, and now I'm gonna cook my apples over medium-high heat until, see this syrup that's kind of coming in? Look at that. So that is gonna thicken, and it's gonna take about 10 minutes. In that time, the apples will also start to soften. Once your syrup has thickened, we are going to turn off the heat and take the apples off so we can stir in some more ingredients. Use all of your arm muscles to transfer it over here to your counter. We are going to add in 1 cup of our slow cooker apple butter. I am putting 1 full cup of this glorious apple butter into my cooked apple mixture with 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I eyeball it. And then I'm going to do some lemon zest. I like to zest my citrus before I juice it, so we're gonna do about a teaspoon, a 1/2 teaspoon to a teaspoon of lemon zest, and then 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. To juice my lemons, I like to squeeze it over my hands so that my hands catch the seeds and all the juice just falls through. When your lemon juice, apple butter, lemon zest, and salt are all in your apple mixture, give it a good stir. One thing I love most about this recipe is a lot of cooked apple recipes call to cook the apples completely on the stove before you use them, especially something like apple cobbler. But this one, you cook it just a little bit on the stove and then you put it in the oven so it's more hands-free. So we're going in the oven, 425. While the apples are cooking in the oven, we have to make our drop biscuits. These are so easy. They're not like biscuits that you have to worry about patting and rolling and cutting. No technique here. All we're doing is mixing flour. This is 2 cups of all-purpose flour with a teaspoon of salt, a tablespoon of baking powder, and 3 tablespoons of granulated sugar. We're just gonna mix all of that together and then cut in our butter with a pastry cutter. If you don't have one of these, use a fork or your fingers, your God-given tools. Butter into there. The most important thing whenever you're making biscuits, regardless of if they're drop biscuits, cut biscuits, rolled biscuits, it's cold butter. That is what helps create layers. When you think about it, the butter is so cold and it gets coated by flour. When it's in the oven and it's so hot, the butter starts to evaporate and it creates air pockets, which creates layers of buttery goodness. Once your butter is fully incorporated into your flour and it's about pea size, and your timer of your apples goes off, get your apples out of the oven. Mussels, we are going to stir in 1 cup of whole milk into our biscuit dough. Since these are drop biscuits, the dough is going to be thinner than a rolled and cut biscuit. When your milk has incorporated into your flour and everything is just combined, we're going to use our ice cream scoop to scoop biscuits on top of this apple mixture in our skillet about 2 inches apart, and then brush it with melted butter and a tablespoon of granulated sugar. Once all of your biscuits are on top of your apple mixture, it looks so good. It's gonna be even heavier, the heaviest it has been this entire time. So I'm gonna open my oven first and put this in back at 425 for about 18 to 20 minutes. The edges are gonna bubble, your biscuits will be cooked and golden. Yum. Look at this! Y'all, the apples are bubbly, the biscuits are golden brown. They didn't rise as much as I would have wanted them to, but it doesn't matter because it's like sugary and golden brown and crisp, and it's also gonna be like pillowy soft on the bottom with just gooey apples, and I could imagine this with like whipped cream or ice cream. Oh, y'all, I cannot wait to dig in. I'm gonna let it cool for about 15 to 20-ish minutes. Trust me, it'll still be plenty warm, and then I'll be able to dig into this thing. I can't wait. Look at this. Oh my gosh, look at that steam. Y'all, this looks like heaven. It's like, you know at Cracker Barrel, the fried apples, and then you can get the cornbread or the biscuits and you can eat it with the fried apples? Maybe you don't do that, but you should. That's what I do. This is what that is. It's crisp on the top with that crunchy sugar, ooh, and soft biscuits on the bottom. Look at that. Look at the soft biscuit on the bottom. Oh my word. Here we go. Yes! It's so good. One of my new favorite apple cobblers, if I do say so myself. I gotta do an outro for this video before I just eat this entire bowl. So if you like this video, want more recipes like it, all the apple content for all the fall things, maybe we'll throw pumpkin spice in there, you never really know. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share. If it's on social media and it's a button, click it, just not the block one. I will see y'all next week with a really cool fall recipe or DIY or something.